Good afternoon. I think it's good to start. So I hope you all can hear my sound properly. This is Aromal with you, and good afternoon. Salam alaikum. I hope everyone is safe and doing great. So first of all, thank you all of your time and effort to attend this wonderful session. So today we are actually having this session on Endpoint Protector, uh, your cross-platform data loss prevention solution hosted by Bulwark. And moving into the main part, so if you can see that the uh, the main things which we are covering on this session. So can I just move the slide, Alina? Yeah. So the main points which we are covering in the session is actually we will give a small introduction about the partnership between Bulwark and Endpoint Protector. And Alina will give the explanation of detail, brief on the Endpoint Protector and the history, and also the vision of Endpoint Protector on the DLP sector or the DLP, particular security layer. And she will run over the small product overview and the different aspects on the use cases. And also we have the brief demo session on the product, and we have a dedicated Q&A session to ask you queries and we will clarify. So moving into the next slide. So before going into the main part of the section, I want to give a small introduction about the partnership between Bulwark and Endpoint Protector. So Bulwark is one of the award-winning specialized cybersecurity value-added distributor in this region. And Bulwark started operation in 1999, and we are celebrating our 20th successful year of cybersecurity. And we are one of the privately held and profitable since we started. And we represent more than 22 plus vendors on their complete product and service portfolio. We are operating mainly in the GCC countries and India as well. We have 500 plus partners across both of the region. And also we are partnered with Endpoint Protector since 2018, and we are just completed the 2 years of partnership. And we have the dedicated sales, marketing, and technical team for Endpoint Protector from Bulwark. And we have our certified technical engineers also to support the post pre-sales and post-sale activities on the Endpoint Protector product technologies and projects. So moving into the next slide, I'm just handovering to Alina. So Alina can just brief about Endpoint Protector. Please, Alina.
Yes, thank you, Aromal. Hi, everybody. Welcome to today's webinar. So I am Alina Cucuriano. I'm representing Endpoint Protector today, and I will present to you more about our company and our product in today's webinar. So as you can see this slide, we have a few milestones that we are referring to. So in 2004, we were founded as a company. So the company's name is Cososys, and our main product is called Endpoint Protector. In 2008, we were for the third year winner in a row for in the data leakage prevention category at the Cybersecurity Excellence Award. In 2008 as well, we released our Enforced Encryption module, which is the fourth one. And also in 2017, we were recognized in the Gartner Magic Quadrant. So our vision as a company is to develop and to deliver to our customers an advanced and all-in-one data loss prevention solution for Windows, Mac OS, and Linux that helps our customers to put an end to the data leaks and data thefts, and of course to control the portable storage devices. We're also helping our customers to become more compliant, and here are referring to regulations like GDPR, HIPAA, and so on. And also, our DLP solution is available in flexible and multiple deployment options, and I'm going to present each of them in a later slide. So we're actually working with partners all over the world. So we have partners in Middle East, we have partners in all around Asia, Europe, Africa, North America, and so on. And we have 4 different offices. So our headquarters is in Romania, in Cluj-Napoca. We also have an office in Germany, 1 office in Raleigh, in North Carolina, and 1 office in South Korea. Here we have a few awards that we won in the past 3 years. So awards referring to security excellence and so on. And here are some certifications that are very important for us. And here we can mention common criteria, ISO 9001, and so on. So very important for us are these events that happen. So in 2017, we were recognized in the Gartner Magic Quadrant. In 2019, we were recognized so our product was recognized by the Radicati Group for the 3rd year in a row in the Enterprise Data Loss Prevention Market Quadrant, and also we were mentioned by Forrester in the Now Tech Data Loss Prevention last year, so in 2019. In terms of customers that we're serving at the moment and that are happily using our product, here are some listed here. So Philips, LG, Toyota, and so on. For a longer list, you can also check out our website, which is endpointprotector.com, to have a longer list and also other use cases. Okay, there are a few references that I've listed here one for Windows, one for Mac OS, and one for Linux. So we have customers that are using our product for mixed environments that have Windows, Mac OS, and also Linux computers, or Windows and Mac OS, and so on. And I will read, for example, the reference that we have for Windows. So the Assistant Vice President from AON from Indonesia said that we were looking for a solution to help us prevent data loss, so customer information and business plans, especially from agent/marketing and sales department, which have access to highly confidential data. And they are happily using our product today as well. With Endpoint Protector, we're trying to come and to be a help for our customers in order to respect the regulations worldwide. So we're helping with GDPR regulations, with HIPAA regulations, with PSI, DSS, and so on. So the concerns that we are addressing are, of course, firstly, data loss, data leakage, data theft, but we also address to uncontrolled use of devices in the workplace, regulatory compliances, and also protection of individual property. So what are our key strengths? So what can Endpoint Protector bring at the table? So first of all, it's really easy and fast to deploy. So the server can be actually up and running in 30 minutes. True cross-platform DLP solution, which means that you can manage and control the devices, either if you have a mixed environment, so if you have Windows and macOS and also Linux computers, all these computers can be managed and controlled from one console. Lightweight agent that does not affect the performance of the computers, granular policies and settings, also a modular approach to DLP. We are offering 4 different modules, and I'm going to present each one of them in our demo session, and also an intuitive and user-friendly interface. Our main product is called Endpoint Protector, and this is actually the product that we're going to speak about today. As a deployment option for the server, so our product has a client-server architecture, which means that on each of the computer that needs protection, a small agent will be installed, and that agent would communicate with the server. So in terms of the server deployment, we offer these 3 different options. So either as a virtual appliance to be imported into a virtual environment, and we're compatible with VMware, VirtualBox, and so on. We have a long list. This is also eco-friendly because you can use the hardware that you already have. The second option is using cloud services. So there are 3 different cloud services that we can share our instances to: Amazon Web Services, Microsoft Azure, and also Google Cloud Platform. And our third option is available as a SaaS flavor, so to be hosted in a cloud service, mainly Amazon Web Services, by us as a vendor. The administrative interface that I'm also going to share you during our demo session. So it's modular and also intuitive, and it's also web-based, so you don't have to install a new application or anything. It's also a multilingual interface for different languages, user-friendly, very intuitive and responsive. And we have the centralized management with all of the modules included there, coming pre-installed, and our customers just have to enable those modules that they want to use. So the main modules that we are offering are content aware protection, device control, enforced encryption, and e-discovery. So very briefly about each. Content aware protection is scanning data in motion, so data transfers. Device control is controlling and monitoring the USB and peripheral ports. And enforced encryption helps with automatic USB encryption, while e-discovery scans data at rest, so data that is residing on the computers. So how it works? Actually, as I've mentioned, Endpoint Protector has a client-server architecture. So the clients would send to the server logs created based on their activity. And from the interface that the administrators have access to, they have access to these 4 modules, and they have the possibility to apply certain rights, certain settings, and also we have a few different features and functionalities that are included in each module, and I will present each one of them during the demo session. Okay, so here are a few use cases that I've picked for this presentation. These are use cases from Middle East. So the first one, for example, it's a bank from UAE, and they're happily using device control and content aware protection for 400 Windows computers. And the reason why they chose Endpoint Protector was because the data loss prevention functionalities offered worked also when the agent is offline. And that was something that they were actually looking for, and it was mandatory to have. Okay, the second use case is Customs and Port Authority from UAE. They're using our product, Endpoint Protector, for 2,500 Windows computers with our device control module. And they chose Endpoint Protector because of the great granularity that device control has, and also the excellent technical support that we're offering. The third one is a bank from Kuwait. So they're using device control and enforced encryption for 1,300 Windows computers. And they chose Endpoint Protector, especially because of the great features that our device control module offers, and also because of the fact that enforced encryption is really easy to use. The first one is an oil and gas company from Saudi Arabia. They're using device control and content aware protection for 300 Windows computers. And they chose Endpoint Protector because the implementation and the maintenance is possible also in an isolated environment. And this means that Endpoint Protector was not connected to the internet. And also for the good value there's a good value for strong data loss prevention features. All right. And the last example that I have here is a police department from UAE. They're using device control and content aware protection for 1,600 Windows and macOS computers. And they chose Endpoint Protector for its cross-platform control, because they can control the Windows and also the macOS computers from one console, and also our great technical support. So this was the presentation that we have on the company and also on the product, and now I will jump into a demo session. So just give me a moment to move to the interface. So this is the login page where administrators are logging in order to set up the settings and the rights for the users. So I'll just log in with my own credentials. All right, so this is the web-based interface. We have different tabs, including also the main modules that I was telling you about: device control, content aware protection, e-discovery, and also enforced encryption. We're also as coming pre-installed, so all of everything that you see here is coming pre-installed. There are also other features and settings for the server, for the clients, for the appliance, and so on. So just as a general presentation of the features and synchronizations that we have, we do synchronize with Active Directory from directory services, synchronizations. You can synchronize Endpoint Protector with Active Directory. This way, the groups and the users can be imported to the Endpoint Protector server, and also the clients can be pushed as an MSI package through Active Directory to be installed on the computers. Okay. Even more, we also offer and we have SIEM integration. So with SIEM integration, you just have to integrate your SIEM tool to the Endpoint Protector server, and they will be working together. There's also another feature that we're offering, which is offline temporary password. With this, whenever a agent is offline and the administrators want to apply different rights from what they have, so they want to allow them to use a specific device or to have access to any device for a certain period of time. And offline temporary password is the feature that the administrators can use for this specific use case. All right, so I'll just start with our first module now, which is device control. And now I'm going to go to global rights here. As you can see, we have as tabs global rights, groups, users, computers, and devices. And I will explain the granularity in order for you to understand how this works. So here we have the device types that we, with Endpoint Protector, monitor and control. And as examples, there are USB storage devices, printers, local and network, smartphones, webcam. I wanted to add the fact that we can apply different rights, so mainly allow access and deny access. But for some of these device types, we can apply customized rights like block Wi-Fi if wired network connection is present, or for iProducts, for example, we have deny access but allow charging. And there's also for USB storage devices the read-only access, which is found very useful by our clients, and also allow access with some restrictions. So allow access if device is trusted device level 1, 1+, 2, 3, and 4 are referring to devices that are encrypted in one way or another. And level 1 and 1+ are referring to our own encryption application. Level 2 are referring to devices that are encrypted with BitLocker for Windows. Level 3, Firebolt for Mac. And level 4 is software and hardware encryption. And I'm here at global rights, which means that whatever I have applied here will apply to all of the employees from the company, so to all of the clients that are communicating with the server, except if I am if I'm applying different rights to certain groups, users, computers, or devices. So as I've mentioned, device control is very granular, which means that you have this priority hierarchy. So the least priority would have the global rights, and the highest priority have in the scale would have the devices rights. So I'll just give an example to better explain. So if I go here at sales group, manage rights, as we can see, most of these preserve global settings. So whatever I've set up on global rights would also apply to groups. But for USB storage devices, I've applied read-only access to USB storage devices for the sales group. So the sales group would have this right, and everybody else outside the sales group would have the global rights applied on their clients, so on their computers. You can also do so for specific users or for specific computers, and even for specific devices. And the way that we're actually identifying the devices is based on the vendor ID, product ID, and also serial number, which is actually unique. So if I go down here, for example, I can see a list of specific devices that have been connected to the protected computers in the past up to the present moment. And I can see all of these details. So device types, device name, what's the description of the device, the vendor ID, product ID, and serial number. Very important are these three. You can also show and hide columns, which means that you can customize the looks of these reports, filter the reports, and also export as Excel, PDF, and CSV. So if I want to apply a specific right to a specific device, I can do so by adding what type of device, what's the right that I want to apply. Let's just take allow access. And there are two types of, so there are two options here. Either add an existing device by providing the vendor ID, product ID, and serial number, or an existing device from the wizard. Or if you want to add more devices at once, either a serial number range or a bulk list of devices. I'll just take existing device for this example, press next, and then I'd select this one. So from this moment on, the sales group would have read-only access to USB storage devices, but allow access to this specific USB storage device, which is actually a data traveler from Kingston with this particular serial number. All right, in terms of reports and analysis for device control, if I go to logs report, our customers are able to see these detailed reports in which all the events like connected or disconnected for the devices are displayed here, or whenever the policies have been received on the protected computers, or whenever a user has login or logout. And we also have all of these details that we're displaying. So what's the computer, what's the main IP of the computer, what's the username, what's the device type or the device. We can also show and hide columns, filter, and export. And there are also two different features for device control that our customers are very enjoying and are happily using. One of them is file tracing. So basically with file tracing, Endpoint Protector would create logs for each of the activities done by the users with the files on the removable devices. So we can see whenever a file has been deleted, renamed, encrypted, written, read, and so on. And we can see also on which computer and what's the username, the device type and the device, and also the file name and the path itself. And with file shadowing even more, so this is a real step forward, you can see an exact copy of the file that was tried to be transferred. So from actions here, there's a possibility to download that exact copy of the file and see what exactly it contained. So it's a really exact copy of the original file. It would show exactly as the original one. So this would be it on device control. I will move to content or protection now. This is our module that scans and also monitors data in motion, so data transfers. And the way that we're protecting with content or protection is based on a policy that each of our clients are creating, in which they decide what sensitive data, what kind of data do they want to block. And I will create a policy together with you. So we would take each step one by one to see how this policy can be created. The first step is to select, so to give the policy information. What is the operating system for which this policy is created for? What's the policy name? So just give a name and a description, and select the policy action, whether block and report, report only, or block only. I'll just leave it as it is and go to the next step. So here at Policy Exit Points, we're actually deciding through which of the applications we would like to block the transfers of sensitive data. And we offer a large list of possibilities here for our customers. They can choose from web browsers, and we have a long list here, from email clients, instant messaging applications like Skype, WhatsApp Web, and so on. Cloud services and also file sharing applications like Dropbox, iCloud Drive, and so on. And also social media applications and others that wouldn't include in other boxes here. And we can also select the storage devices, also the network shares in which we control the transfers to and also from the network shares, thin clients, clipboards, which is basically the action of cut and paste, copy and paste, print screens, and also printers. Once we've selected the exit points, we can go to the next step, which is the policy blacklists. So at policy blacklists, we define what exactly sensitive data for the company and what kind of files and what kind of content we want to block from being transferred out of the company premises. And then the next step would be to select the policy blacklist. And as I was saying, we're actually defining what kind of data do we want to block and report with this policy. And the first step and the first option actually that we're giving is the file type. So based on the file type, we can block those files. So either we can choose either between graphic files, office files, archive files, media files, CAD, and other types of files like text files and so on. If I select Excel here, for example, all the Excel files transferred through the applications that I select at the policy exit points will be blocked from being transferred. But if our customers doesn't want to block based on the file type, but based on their content, we have also we are also giving the possibility to do so. There is the source code languages that we are identifying in any type of file and that we can block from being transferred. We also have the predefined content, so credit card numbers, personal identifiable information, addresses, social security numbers, IDs, passports, and so on. And for all of these, we're also going country specific and very granular. So if I select MasterCard here, all the files, doesn't matter the type of them, that will contain MasterCard numbers. and are transferred through the applications that we select here, those file transfers will be automatically blocked. The next step is the custom content. So basically here we can create a dictionary with words that indicate the file contains sensitive data. And I would suggest adding here something like confidential, secret, financial, internal use only, and terms and words that are that would for sure indicate the files contain sensitive data. We can also upload a list of file names that are for sure not possible to be sent out, and we want to restrict transfers of those files for our users. We also offer the possibility to create regular expressions, which we also suggest and recommend that are created by someone from the company that really has a deep understanding on how these regular expressions work. And lastly, for blacklist, we offer this feature which is called domain and URL. And what this feature basically does is to block access to certain websites, so to certain URLs. And our customers are just creating a list of URL names that should be blocked from accessing for the users. And after that list is created, they just have to select it from here. Okay, I'm just going to move on to the next step, which is the policy whitelist. So with policy whitelists, we're giving the possibility to create exceptions. So either based on the file type, we have the file types listed here: graphic files, office files, archive files, and so on. And also give the possibility to create a list of allowed files, or unallowed, or 2 or 3 or more allowed email domains to which the users should be able to send any type of files, a list of URL names that the users should be able to upload and send files, even if those files contain sensitive data. Okay, and the last step is to select the policy entities. So to which departments, groups, computers, or users, end users, will this policy apply to? In terms of reports and analysis for content-aware protection, each of the transfers that are blocked or reported will be listed here. And you'll see the event, the content threat blocked or detected depending on the action of the policy, on which computer, what's the username, what's the policy name under which that transfer was blocked, what's the destination type, and also the destination itself. So for example, here it was a web browser, but what kind of web browser? It was a Chrome. We can also see the file name and the path, the matched item. So why exactly was this file blocked from being transferred? And also item details and date and time of the server and the client. If you enable file shadowing as well, Endpoint Protector can create an exact copy of the file with content protection as well. Okay, then I'll move on to e-discovery, which is our third module. With e-discovery, this is really similar to the content protection policies. E-discovery scans data at rest. So basically, the policies are pretty similar. What's new here is that we have the scan location. If we don't want to scan the whole computer, we can scan just a specific location. So there's also the step of policy blacklist, policy whitelist, and also policy entities. And after the policies are created, we can run that scan either manually or automatically. After the scans are complete, we just go and scan results and actions. And here, basically, we have all of these details reported. So the computer, the policy, was the matched item, matched type, path, when it was discovered, And we have here the possibility to use 3 powerful tools. The first one is encrypt on target. So basically, if an administrators encrypt on target a specific file, that file is not able to used by the user anymore. So it's encrypted. If the administrator decides to give access again to that user for that file, they can decrypt it. And the third option is to delete on target. So delete that file with no possibility to be recovered. It's a permanent deletion, actually. All right. So this would be it on e-discovery. It's very user-friendly and intuitive and very similar to the content-aware protection one, except that content-aware protection would scan data in motion and e-discovery data at rest. All right. I'll just go on to our last module, which is enforced encryption.
So admin have the privilege to manage all kind of internal kind of devices can be used in a much more professional manner that can be protected and that will be more secure. So that is the main use case of this enforced encryption module. So be the admin or the particular stakeholder of an organization can have the privilege to, allocate the USBs or the external drives on based on the policies and the particular rules and regulations which they are following, and they can use this internal kind of a communication or transfer the critical files, and that can be much more be secure and safe. So those are the different kind of modules. I think Alina has covered almost all the 4 different modules. That is from device control for your complete internal and external in and out of tracking of your external devices. And also we have the content aware protection. I think from the name itself, we can have the complete visibility in a way that we have blocking and managing the particular movement of your files and critical data in terms of the content. And also on going to the third one is called the e-discovery. E-discovery is nothing but you're actually scanning and finding the data in the rest. So we have the capabilities in terms of the data's access, and in terms of the data's kind of different privileges that admin can have. Admin can run a scan on the different machines, and admin have dedicated to the particular users only. They will only have the user read only permission, or we have a limited access, or admin can have the complete permission to wipe the data from the particular user endpoint machines remotely. So that's much more advanced way of the data leakage preventions, feature in comparing to any other product in the market. And we have the last option called enforced encryption. I think is already explained as a product, like we are protecting the normal USPs based off the encryption protection, and we will give the assurance of the data into the movement of your any kind of internal transmission between the users and the organization employee in that particular department or any kind of thing. So those are the different kind of options that is available Endpoint Protector. I hope everyone has understood about the product and the particular presentation. If you have any kind of doubt, it's better. Can you just raise in the chat box? It is available on the right side of this particular window. So anyone have any doubt, please can you just raise in the chat box related to the product? We will clarify in now itself.
So I think we've got a question from someone, right? About how is network DLP addressed with this solution? Thanks so much for the question. So our solution is a DLP solution at the endpoint level, and we're addressing to protecting the data theft and data loss at the endpoint level. Of course, we're also thinking to develop our product in the future to address to the network DLP. If there are any questions, just yeah, let us know in the chat box. Okay, so how is the tagging done? Can you explain a little bit further? What are you referring to? Tagging of files? Are you referring to data classification? So we're not, with Endpoint Protector, we're not doing data classification, but we can work together with data classification tools that are actually tagging the files. And we identify those tags with our content protection policies, and we can block those files from being transferred based on the tag found on the files. Aromal, I think that probably this would be it on the question session. If you have any questions after this webinar, just feel free to get in contact with us with our trusted partner Bulwark. We have Aromal contact details on the screen, right, Aromal? Thank you so much for sharing. I hope you enjoyed the webinar, and I hope we're going to get in touch in the future. Have a great day, everybody. Thank you so much for joining.
Thank you, guys. Thank you for your time, and I hope you enjoyed the session. And if you have any clarification, if you need any further, related to queries, please let me know. My contact is already there, and I will send you the complete the presentation slides and the video recording. Thank you. Thank you for your time.